What is up? Welcome back, everyone. 2024-25 NBA season previews. My name is Matt Hanifan. I'm here with Jackson Law. Today we're going to be talking about Jackson's Memphis Grizzlies, who had an unbelievably historic season last year, but in all the wrong ways. Jack, I mean, I'll introduce you, but like, just go on, like, just
Okay.
ramble about whatever you want to ramble on, and then, um, how'd you feel about last season's Memphis Grizzlies team? That was a team from hell, a season from hell.
Yeah. I mean, from the start, from the get-go, before the season even started, it was a train wreck. Ja once again flashing a firearm on Instagram Live, being suspended for an extremely long time during the season, and then coming back looking electric, looking like himself, and then getting injured. And that was the story of the Memphis Grizzlies last year, was injury after injury after injury, once again setting a record for the number of players signed. I ran out of times that my phone, I would get like a Woj, which RIP Woj bombs, tweet notification about, another emergency 10-day contract that the Grizzlies had to get approved by the league, because the last three guys that they signed to emergency 10-day contracts were injured. It was insane. The team photo, massive at the end of the year. But it was just a train wreck, blessing in disguise, maybe, because and I know this is a lot of the fandom, but also because the fan in me, but because I've watched him now finally, and I know it's preseason, but I think the Zach Edey draft pick could work out. And here is how it could work out. First of all, I think the other picks that the Grizzlies did in this past draft, Cam Spencer, Jalen Wells, I think they'll work out fairly well. Probably going to get a lot of run with the hustle in the G League. Guest appearance by my cat. Maybe she'll do something stupid in the background for everyone to laugh at. But I think the Edey pick can work. He hasn't been very consistent, but the shot from behind the arc, the three is there. If he could somehow develop that, that's fantastic. Hello. I'm in the middle of something. Do you mind? Do you mind? Okay. Um but the big thing, how I see it opening up, and you saw it in the first game, saw it a little bit last game, the game that they just played, I think last night, too, against the Hornets, where he can just kind of hang out in the dunker spot or kind of in the center of the paint, and as someone is driving to the basket, and the Grizzlies got some dudes that can drive to the basket. John Moran, obviously, Desmond Bane can do it too. D Rose retired, so you lose him. But then you still have Marcus Smart, who's healthy now. And then you've got Jaren even, who can drive to the basket. Scottie Pippen Jr., who I am suspecting is going to take kind of that emergency back spot where you need him to come in, like 10-minute a game, 5-10 minute a game spurts when it's like back-to-backs, or that West Coast road trip, and you need to rest some guys a little bit more often because you're playing so many games. Guys that are can finish at the basket. The whoever is guarding Edey has to make a decision on whether or not they're going to try and help and contest that layup, or if they're going to hang back. And if they hang back, then there's a great chance, because the Grizzlies have good rim finishing, that it's an easy bucket. It's a layup. If it's Ja, he's probably got to step on his dude, and it'll be an easy lay-in. If he steps up, then it's just a little dump off to a dude that is like 9 feet tall. That's just right there. Barely even has to jump to get over the defenders and to the rim. That happened a couple times last night, and Ja didn't even play last night. Desmond Bane did it once or twice, driving into the lane, just a little dump off, nice, easy dunk. And then presuming that he starts and Ja's the one doing the running to the basket. You got guys on the perimeter that can shoot. You have a man that rotates over. Ja's a good enough passer where he can kind of whip it around either to whoever's on the wing, or which would probably be Bane or Smart. Jaren usually hangs out at the top of the key. That's kind of the spot where he likes to shoot deep from, or gets it there and drive to the basket, whatever. So I think he can work. I've also noticed Jenkins has changed his offense up a little bit. It's not as much two-man action at the top of the key. There's a lot more off-ball movement, although in game one, you saw that Ja and Edey two-man connection lob game going on. Looked really great. Obviously, preseason, it's nothing too deep. So we'll see how it starts going out when we finally start the season. I have big expectations for this season for the Grizzlies. It sucks because they've already come out the gate. Two who I would consider key rotational pieces, G.G. Jackson and Vince Williams Jr., are out for a decent amount of time each. I can't remember the exact time frame that they're going to be back. I want to say it's like the late November, probably middle December time before both of them are back. But I think once this team gets healthy, I think we're looking at a team that at their best, they could be a 2 seed in the Western Conference. And I think no worse than like maybe 4th or 5th in there. Because again, the West is always tough. It's always going to be tightly contested. We talked in our last or one of our previous episodes about the OKC Thunder, which by the way, everyone go check that out. How we both love OKC out West. I think that the Grizzlies can be competitive against them. We'll see how everything plays out. There's things I like more about OKC than I do Memphis. There's things that I wish Memphis had, for instance, like a good backup big. They've got a couple of guys in there. One of them being oh shoot, I can't remember his name, but anyway, he's a guy that's spent a lot of time in the G League that they just signed this offseason. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. I can't find it anywhere. But a big person to have back also is Brandon Clark. I saw a post from I think it was NBA University like a few days ago where Brandon Clark was shooting 70% on his little jump one-handed floaters from about 10 feet, like 8 feet inwards, which is a mind-boggling stat in of its own. And just as a tenacious rebounder, someone that's going to really fight in there, and we need someone like that. I say we, like I'm the one out there on the court too. But I've got high expectations for this team. Obviously, I think they're going to be better than last year. It's kind of hard to not be worse than last year, even with all the injuries. So the key to Memphis this year, they're going to go as far as literally their legs can carry them. I think he's going to remind people why the NBA was pushing him to be the face of the league 2 years ago, why he got that signature shoe deal, and why his shoes, when they were first dropping, were selling out within the first 30 minutes of a drop happening, why his jersey sales were as high as they were, why he was getting all these different commercials like Powerade, before the first firearm incident, had a huge campaign for March Madness surrounding him. And which is odd for someone from such a small market team, the second smallest market team in the league, to have that type of movement in a league that is dealing in billions of dollars with millions of fans across the globe. So I think he's going to remind people of that. And I hope to see some development from Bane, from Jaren. Those are kind of the main 3 guys. But again, I think health is the biggest issue. And if they can stay healthy, they will be competitive with teams. Not to say that they'll win, but they will be competitive and they will give an OKC Thunder a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the health. Something that I've written down in my notes is they had 27 guys last year play at least 100 minutes, and they had 20 guys play at least 300 minutes. They had 50 different starting lineups, which is an NBA record.
Yep.
Like, I'm a fan. I mean, people may not like this right here. I'm a fan of a team that had 35 different starting lineups last year, and that felt like it was pulling teeth.
Oh,
It felt like the Heat were injured every other night. I mean, not every night.
There were games last year I would literally turn on and it's like I just want to watch the GG minutes.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I'd pick one or two like the developing players. I would just say I just want to watch them. I literally don't care how this game goes. I just want to see their work from last game to this game. How has it changed? What are they doing better?
Vince was another one where it was
Yeah.
just like, just give him minutes, see
Yeah.
what he does.
Yeah.
And he was good.
Yeah.
Like Marcus Smart only played 20 games last year. Luke Kennard only played 39 games. They re-signed him in the offseason. G.G. Jackson played 48. Conchar who is a guy that I've always liked. He played 55, which, I mean, he missed 27, but 55 is an insignificant amount compared to literally everyone else on the team last year. Zaire Williams, who's no longer there, he played 51 games. But it was just an insane amount of roster turnover on a night-to-night basis. Again, you need continuity in the NBA to be successful. If you don't have continuity when it comes to stuff like that, you're going to be sunk. Or you just need really, really, really good coaching and a lot of luck to go your way for you to be a successful team. Obviously, the Grizzlies were not winning only 27 games. Again, a historic season in all of just the wrong reasons imaginable, because I wasn't super duper high on the Grizzlies last year. I think I remember coming on here and telling you that, but no one expected this, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, not a single individual expected this for very good reason. I wasn't, and again, I'll take my medicine here. I wasn't particularly high. I mean, I wasn't high on Zach Edey as a prospect, but Memphis was a team where I was like, I think this could work, just because he is just a much bigger version of Steven Adams, and like we saw how Steven Adams and how he kind of gelled there. Obviously, there's a steep learning curve when it comes to being an NBA center versus a college center, especially in the kind of role that Edey was in. Like, there's no defensive 3 seconds in the NBA as there was in college. Or, I mean, there is defensive 3 seconds as there was. Backwards. Like, you're going to have to be more diverse than just shooting, 5 to 10 foot jump hooks. Like, teams are going to learn how to defend that, and learn how to counter with that, with different double teams that teams can do from the strong side, weak side, bait, like whatever the case is. Like, you're going to need to be more diverse. Like you mentioned, his 3-point shot. I have seen clips of him shooting. I have heard from people that like I trust that he is like developing that 3-point shot. But at the same time, he only attempted 2 threes in college.
Yeah,
like his whole college career. And so like,
I'm gonna look up the stat sheet from the last 2 games, but I am pretty positive he's double-digit attempts first 2 games already.
I watched a bit of their first game against Dallas, and like he was spaced, but like again, a little reluctancy. I understand it's further above the break at the NBA level than it was at the college level where he didn't shoot to begin with. But just in the sense, like, him as a screen setter, him freeing up Ja and creating that 2-on-1 advantage, creating that 4-on-3 advantage on the week, like him being a screen setter, whether it's on ball, off ball, for a guy like Ja, helps Ja out so much. And Ja obviously doesn't need a screen to get to the rim and be like that, be successful getting down here. Like, he doesn't need that, but it helps him out a lot because I think Ja is an underrated passer. And he's an underrated decision maker when he is getting downhill. Like, I think he's really good at that, and that's something that he accentuates that. And I think if he's able to do that consistently at a high level, which he's shown he's capable of doing, then it just opens up everything else for not only him but the rest of the offense.
Yeah. So he's attempted 3. So I was a little off on that, but still, that's
close to double it. I mean, doubled it from last year.
Yeah,
his college career.
Exactly.
Went from 2 to 3.
So I'm hoping it doesn't turn into the Steven Adams like videos again, like it was for the past couple years, where we'd see Steven Adams shooting 3s in practice. But from what everyone is saying, and from the videos that are coming from practice, and from like what some of the players are saying too, is that his shot is improving, and he is a project for Memphis. And that's weird to say when they're trying to compete for a championship, and there is potentially a window for Memphis that could open up depending on how the chips fall. But he doesn't necessarily need that 3-point shot right now. It obviously helps. It's a great tool, but his primary role is going to be working as a screener, working in that high 2-man game with Ja, and then kind of like how I mentioned earlier on those dribble drives off the wing, kind of slinking down towards the dunker spot, towards the circle, and being there for the dump off or for a rebound right off, on a miss, like an easy putback or something like that. And he can be that guy. If that's what his role is, that's the role Memphis needs, because that's what Steven Adams did. And Steven Adams made the Grizzlies so much better. I like that pickup if he's completely healthy for Houston, just from how important I saw him in the success that Memphis had over the past few seasons. Now, Adams got played off in a couple playoff series, but as far as the initial success goes in kickstarting the offense, getting the ball out on the fast break, getting it into the hands of Ja, and letting him run the break and do his thing. If he can just bring that to the table, then I'm happy with the pick. And if he develops a 3-point shot, if he's able to have a bit more of a post game, and we'll see how that all develops, because the post game is a dying art in the NBA, and teams aren't really looking to throw it down low anymore. They're looking more for the dribble drive and kick
No one
out.
knows how to throw an entry pass.
No, and like not even like all-star players know how to throw entry passes anymore. But yeah, he just needs to be their version of Steven Adams on a much cheaper contract than what he was, to give them more flexibility for other players down the road. Then that is a W in my opinion.
So you offered your ceiling earlier. You said high as a number 2, not lower than a 3, or not lower than a 5.
Yeah,
I have him as a 4 right now. Where do you have him when it's all said and done?
I think I feel comfortable saying like 3, but
Okay.
I think that 4 to 5 is realistic, and that's not bad either, because a 5 out west is like the 2 team out east usually.
Yeah.
But which the East has a couple of good teams now. Obviously, they have the defending champs, and then we'll see how we were all kind of high on the Knicks beforehand, but we'll see how Cat meshes with them and everything.
The Washington Wizards.
Absolutely.
The Brooklyn Nets.
Ben Simmons, come back here. The workout vids for Ben Simmons are back.
They've been
back.
dropping, and I've been seeing them on the timeline. Doesn't mean
that
I fall for them.
But that means the NBA is back. When we start seeing the Ben Simmons workout videos, it's NBA season.
Yeah, I mean, really anyone's workout videos, because it's just like, yep, this dude's gonna pop, and it's just he's hitting open shots in an open gym. It's just like, not gonna take these in a game, dude. But yeah, I think they're a force. I'm much higher on them this year, obviously, than I was last year. Again, I do think Edey helps them out. I do, again, hopefully they're able to stay healthy. I like the Marcus Smart, like if he's, there for 50, 60 games, ball handling responsibility whenever Jaw's not on the floor, in addition to being a 3-point shot maker, a guy who can, muck things up a little bit defensively. Obviously, Gigi Jackson, when he's healthy, don't know why the fuck that dude was playing in Summer League. Don't ask me. It was infuriating in the Summer League title game with my beloved Heat, just watching him cook us. It's just like, dude, you should not be playing. I watched this 2 years ago, where I understand why they did it at the time, but Sacramento was playing Keegan Murray.
Yeah.
Not this last year, but the year before that, and they were playing him in Summer League, and it was the California Classic in Sacramento. And so it's like, him getting an opportunity to show out in front of his home fans or whatnot, heading into his second season is just like, he had like fucking 40 or something. I was just like, dude, you don't need to be playing in these games. And then I can't even. I'm a little bit hypocritical when I say that, because Miami did it with Jaime Jaquez this year. And it's just like, I I even was saying at the time in the Slack, Twitter, whatever, I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't know why this guy's playing, but I guess I like it because he's just dominating shit out of whoever he's playing against.
Yeah.
But like with Gigi Jackson in the summer league title game, it's just like, Jesus Christ, can he stop? But yeah, no, I'm excited for him. Obviously, Vince Williams. Let me just go on down this roster. I mean, I like Cam Spencer coming out of the draft. I think he'll be in Memphis with the hustle. Scottie Pippen Jr. is another guy that you mentioned. Jalen Wells, who I think like you've seen some flashes from him in preseason, which is an encouraging sign. I think one guy that we haven't mentioned yet that I've always kind of liked, who I'm expecting to at least pop a little bit more this year, is Santi Aldama.
Yeah, I wish that his play on the international stage can translate to the NBA, because if it does, he will be an extremely valuable bench piece moving forward. Because when you watching him in the Olympics and even like the World Cup 2 years ago, the FIBA World Cup, the dude was hooping. Okay, and it's not like he's doing pretty good. No, he's like one of the top 3 guys on a team that is consistently good on the world stage, has a great reputation, and is always competing and even winning sometimes. Even when the United States is in the picture, Spain is going to be one of the tougher teams to beat, and he was one of the main guys for that. So I hope that translates over. And also just like some other things that I haven't mentioned about the team, like Luke Kennard's back too, re-signed him. I'm cool with that. I did see some advanced statistics that did talk about how he's kind of a net zero when it comes to him being basically a traffic cone on defense, but him also being one of the top 3 best 3-point shooters in the NBA. So it just kind of depends on, can Taylor Jenkins find the type of lineup to kind of hide him a little bit and kind of cover up his lack of defense, but also maximize him on the offensive side of the ball. Sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need a dude that's just going to sit there and hit the threes like he can.
If you're running more off ball stuff for him, he's absolutely. I mean, I don't think many people realize how like accurate of a 3-point shooter he actually is.
No, and he's excellent off the ball too, like him moving off the ball. So I'm hoping Taylor Jenkins is true to his word on that. This is kind of really random, but an interesting player that a lot of people are wanting to make the roster, at least as like a 2-way player, is Yuki Kawamura. He's the 5'7", 5'8" point guard from Team Japan from the World Cup that kind of went viral because standing tall, he was to Victor Wembanyama's thigh, but low key, he's hustling this preseason, and he's fighting for a roster spot. So there's a lot of people. I always root for the underdog, So I wouldn't mind seeing him get a roster spot as well. So, but we'll.
Do they have an open roster spot, or they set with the full 15?
I think they have one left, I think. Let me see.
Well, Spot Rack has them at 13, so they have 2 open
13,
ones.
so two. Yeah.
That might be filled up by Scotty.
Yeah, I think
one might be given to Scotty, and they might give one of those like Baycott Oni, like they may give him a 2-way.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably what they'll end up doing. But I wouldn't mind seeing him on the G League, if he's wanting to stay, just kind of like as that emergency guy. Because again, the history of Memphis is that they will not be healthy the full season, and they will need someone to step in. And that's been like, I will say the one consistent thing about the Grizzlies organization has been their development in the G League has been extremely good.
Right.
And when players have to go down to the G League to kind of gain that confidence back. It works out because then players get hurt and they come back and they're able to be playable. Jake LaRavia had a lot of issues last year. He's a guy that has shown flashes in the past, and I honestly think is going to be the new. He's going to be the guy that's going to be like fighting for his roster spot this year, because I think Cam Spencer is the guy that could replace LaRavia, and then Jalen Wells also is right there as well. And I know they're rookies, and they're both probably going to spend a lot of time in the G League. But if injuries happen and LaRavia doesn't step up, one of them's going to be put into that situation. And someone like Wells, I'm a bit more confident in right now.
Yeah, and I just think he's like the bigger, more athletic piece. And I think that plays a part into it. Even though Cam Spencer, like when I wrote his profile for the site, please go check that out at vendetta-sportsmedia.com. Like, he's competitive as shit.
Oh yeah.
And I fucking love that, just watching him play. He's like watching him and Dan Hurley, it was like father son, like just two psychopaths in the best way imaginable on a basketball court. And like obviously he was one of the more efficient 3-point shooters in the entire country.
I want to see him one day. It may not be this season, but a year or two from now, I want to see him in a Grizzlies uniform. Let him be the dude, because Kennard, again, the idea of Kennard is why people keep trading for him and why people like him.
Right.
But, one day a team wises up, and that's why he's been traded so much. Is because the team wises up and they realize, I'm getting out of him 3-point wise, cool. I get out of defense, very lacking. So I think
I'm not sure if we may have lost you for a second. What were you saying?
Yeah, no, I was just saying that we could see Cam Spencer a little bit sooner rather than later, potentially.
Okay.
Maybe not this year, but in a year, probably, like rotational wise.
Luke Kennard was cutting your Wi-Fi, man.
Doesn't want me talking about him.
Yeah, doesn't want you talking at least negatively about him.
Negatively, yeah.
Any parting thoughts on your beloved Memphis Grizzlies before we get out of here?
Just stay healthy, man. That is the key to this season. If they can stay healthy, I like Jenkins as a coach. He's on the hot seat for a lot of people in the Grizz fandom. And in fact,
really,
no, there's some Grizz fans that hate him. They hate him for the loss last night in the preseason game.
You can't do
like, yeah, but
you got out coach Jackson. What? I'm just
but he's shown the ability to make adjustments in the past. Probably one of his best ones was switching Kyle Anderson onto Cat in the Timberwolf series a few years back, where Cat was absolutely blowing by Steven Adams and abusing him that entire game. And Cat wanted to play more on the perimeter, and so he throws Kyle Anderson on him, and Cat still wants to try to play outside on the perimeter, and he loses his height advantage, and Kyle Anderson, of course, being an excellent perimeter defender, was able to keep up with him most of the time. But and then of course, I don't think it mattered how much he yelled at him. Dylan Brooks was going to shoot anyways. So.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So, yeah. But stay healthy, please. Because again, the Thunder are, I think, both of our picks to make it out the West. But weird stuff can happen in the NBA, even in a 7-game series. Dudes just get hot. It's like how in the bubble, the Lakers, who weren't that great of a 3-point shooting team, became the best 3-point shooting team in the NBA in the bubble, and that's why they won the title that year. Sorry, I know that's
hell the Lakers winning the damn title in the bubble. I want to talk about
it. But weird stuff happens in the NBA, which, I mean, to your team's credit, in the bubble, did a great job at dragging teams down into the mud both times that they've gone to the finals
I was gonna say
Did a
2
great
years
job.
ago, the epitome of that, in addition to Jimmy turning
The
into
game
Michael.
when no one gave them a shot.
No, I didn't give him a shot. But they proved me wrong.
But yeah, but just stay healthy, please. I can't see another 50 players fill out the Grizzlies roster. You need to make the thumbnail for this, the team photo from last year, where instead of one picture, it was like, when they handed it out to people, you like had to fold it. It was like a pinup. It was like it folded out 3 times for it to stay.
You have
Show
to
the whole
zoom out,
team.
and you're just like,
Yeah.
who is that?
No, I know. Like true hoopers, like that's the true hooper test. If you can name more than half of these dudes, I'll give you like the Jaws, like Jaw and some of the other like starters. But name some of the dudes off the 10 days, and it's like I'll consider you a real hooper, a real hoop knower.
Billiard, no.
Yeah.
Anyways, my name is Matt Hanifan. This is Jackson Law. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please go check out our other NBA season previews that we have on the YouTube channel. We'll be uploading them until October 22nd when opening night is. Jackson, who are the Grizzlies playing opening night? Tell the people. If you can remember. I don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, that's an excellent question. I've got their schedule up right here. So I think it's the Rockets. Oh no, it's the Jazz. It's the Jazz.
Okay. The Kyle Filipowski's Utah Jazz. Yes, please go check out all of our stuff on the YouTube channel, all of the stuff at vendettasportsmedia.com. We'll be having our NBA season previews in addition to plenty of other content. The NFL's in full swing, Major League Baseball's in full swing with the postseason. NHL season started last week. Obviously, college football's in full effect. Please go check out Trey's draft stock notes. Literally anything that you can think of is on vendettasportsmedia.com, including our season previews. So please go check all of that stuff out while liking, while subscribing, while even commenting what your thoughts are on the Memphis Grizzlies 2024-25 season. You can predict that they finish 30 and 52. Or you could also project them to finish 50 and 32. Or anything in between, or maybe even something greater than that. My name is Matt Hanifan. This is Jackson Law. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all next time.